This production comes to you in association with the Bluebell Warrington. Situated in an 18th century building in the town centre and just a 5-minute walk from the HJ Stadium, the Bluebell is the perfect destination for pre- and post-game food and drink. The 2024 Warrington Pub of the Year is now the official home of Super League Raw on Warrington World Match Days for both home and away supporters. Super League Raw are delighted to have agreed a members-only area, allowing our community to come together to discuss rugby league pre- and post-match. So set your course to the Bluebell Warrington on match days and beyond. You are sure to be greeted with a warm welcome and a cold beer. Super League Raw and the Bluebell, the perfect partnership in enhancing your match day experience. So good evening and welcome to Super League Raw Weekly. Just a few days to go to Ashley's Game 1. With me tonight, as always, is Mr. Nixon and Mr. Sale. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir. Are you well?
Very, very well, sir. Joel hopefully will be joining us a little bit later on. He's on babysitting duties. He's daddy daycare this evening, but hopefully he'll be joining us a little bit later on for a bit of chat and merriment. Super Chats is open for those who are interested. By all means, buy us a drink. This is a very nice Merlot this evening to your very good health to everybody who is watching this evening. And if you're listening on the podcast on the way to work, of course, make sure yours is a latte or a cup of tea. And for the price of a latte, you can be the member of Super League Raw. That's a completely separate issue. Good evening to Greg Roach, Joe Yates. Hello to Joe. That's a new one. Can't make out if that's a tiger or a leopard from here, but he certainly likes a cat of some sort of variety. Gary Bow, good evening to you. I'm sure Gary Bow's Alex Sharp, isn't it? Mark Hill's with us. Carla Colley, good evening to you. Rebecca Frey is with us as well. Dawn Kirby, great to have the community in. Mark Smith, 105, good evening to you. Hope you're well. George Valentine with us as well. But we're going to start off tonight's show with Steph, who wants to pay a very important tribute. So, Steph, over to you.
Yeah, for those who don't know, we lost a stalwart of the league community today, so I just wanted to make a bit of a tribute to my mate Trevor. So it's with great sadness that we mark the passing of Trevor Barton, MBE, a man whose life embodied service, leadership and unwavering dedication to his community. A former chief superintendent with Greater Manchester Police, Trevor served with integrity and distinction for over 3 decades, earning the respect of all who worked alongside him. His commitment to public service extended far beyond policing. He was a driving force in both sport and community regeneration across Leigh and the wider Wigan area. Trevor played a central role in the creation and development of the Leigh Sports Village, a transformative project that became a cornerstone for local sport, education and community life. His vision, determination, and ability to bring people together helped turn an ambitious dream into one of the Northwest's most admired multi-use venues. A lifelong supporter of Lee Leopards Rugby League Club, Trevor served many roles, including director, guiding the club through key moments of rebuild, growth, and success. His steady leadership and deep love for the game ensured Lee remained both competitive and community-focused, a club truly rooted in its people. Trevor was immensely proud to serve as president of Lee Miners Rangers, where his passion for grassroots sport shone brightly. He believed deeply in the power of youth development and community spirit, supporting countless young players and volunteers who continue to benefit from his vision and encouragement. In recognition of his decades of service to policing, sport and community life, Trevor was awarded the Member of the Order of the British Empire, MBE, a fitting honour for a man who gave so much and asked for so little in return. Trevor's warmth, humility and determination inspired everyone he met. He was a mentor to many and a true friend to all who shared his belief in making a difference. I was incredibly fortunate to know Trevor, not just as a community leader, but as a friend. His advice, kindness and encouragement meant more to me than he ever knew. Trevor had always had a way of making feel seen and supported, always willing to listen, always willing to offer advice and words when they were needed the most. His passion for Lee, for rugby league, and for helping others will never be forgotten. I will miss his humour, his guidance, and his friendship deeply, but I'll always be grateful for the time I had with him and the example he set for us all. May he rest in peace. His life work will continue to shape Lee for generations to come.
Wonderful words, Steph. Ladies and gentlemen, let's raise a glass to another lost rugby league hero, to Trev.
Trevor.
Outstanding, Steph. Outstanding.
Well done, mate.
Lovely stuff. Well, obviously, poignant, a great tribute, absolutely marvellous effort, that, Steph. And clearly somebody who meant a lot to you personally, mate.
One thing with Trevor is his legacy will live on forever, especially not only with the countless projects that he did and whatnot, but more so as the Lee Sports Village. Trevor was instrumental with that. And I remember him saying to my granddad when they were at Hilton Park, my granddad kept saying to him, will it ever be built in my lifetime? And Trevor made sure that my granddad was the first person to kick off a ball at Lee Sports Village when it was opened. So he's someone that meant a lot to not just me, but to the whole Lee community, and he'll be sadly missed by everyone. And through amateur sport as well, Reggie's got links in the amateur game. Everybody in the amateur game knew Trevor was because of his life presidency at Lee Miners. He had hands in everything, and everything he did, he was a doer. He just got everything done, and a wonderful man.
Fitting tribute, mate. Obviously, if anybody wants to pay tribute to rugby league heroes off the field or on the field, then by all means drop us a line. We'd welcome that. We do appreciate that we're close to our local areas, but if any of our members, anybody who watches us, hear of somebody's passing who has had a massive impact in the game of rugby league, and you want Super League Raw to be aware of that, but also to pay a tribute, then do get in touch with us. Right, as Trev would want, let's get on with some rugby league debate and chat. Starting off with, has anybody seen Alex Sharp? Jack Sinfield's off to wake. Alex Sharp's an absolutely devastated man. Gary Bow, of course, is Gary Hutch. Do apologise, Gary. But yeah, Jack Sinfield. We did say, boys, Sinfield would leave Leeds, and it would appear that is exactly going to be the case. Go on, Reg.
Yeah, I was right. Yeah, I think it's something we've discussed quite a lot over this season. And fair play to him. I think he probably will get a lot of game time at Wakefield. I think it's a good match for them. I think he'll bring another bit of dynamicism, if I can say that right, to their dynamicism. I've not had a drink yet either. To the centre of the park, we saw what he did at Leeds a few times. I think it's a great move for him and for the club.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, I sort of think here, Steph, that maybe Ollie Russell might move on here. That I see Jack as a stand-in. I mean, because We know that Lino and Truman are his first choice at Wakefield. We know that he's been putting Jowett in there at halfback as and when he's required. Ollie's been right down the pecking order. If you were Ollie Russell, do you expect him to maybe look at one of these clubs that have come up and Ollie Russell turn up there maybe?
Yeah, it's. I mean, they've got a plethora now of halves there, so that's why it's quite a strange move for Jack to go to Wakefield. For me, I don't really get it, but obviously he's seen something, and his agent's seen something, and Wakefield have seen something in him. I was expecting a move maybe to York or Bradford, maybe somewhere like that for Jack, where he's going to be, starting. I don't see him starting at Wakefield. I think Jowett's even above him there in terms of the halfback position, as we discussed earlier, Dave. But it's on Jack now, isn't it? He's got to go and prove himself there, and no doubt he's got talent. And we've been crying out for him to get his opportunity. It was never going to happen for him at Leeds while Connor was playing so well, and they've got Brodie Croft, obviously. So it's a good move in that respect, but now he really needs to command that place at Wakefield. Otherwise, he'll find him in exactly the same position as he was at Leeds.
Well, wasn't there a rumour flying around that Ollie Russell was going to Bradford a couple of days ago?
I think that could happen. I think it could happen. Maybe one of the other teams. I'll tell you what's interesting is somebody turning lights off at Castleford Tigers. Will Tate has been announced that he's leaving today. I mean, there's more people leaving Castleford than joining. What's going on?
Clear out. Clearly
Massive.
clear out there.
Yeah, but
obviously trying to get probably bringing the wage bill down so they can announce some massive signings over the off season. Castleford fans are hoping.
Well, I mean, yeah, you'd hope so for Simo's sake, wouldn't you? Dear God, I mean, what's going on there? Absolutely unbelievable. Not much to and fro, and I was expecting more in the last 24 to 48 hours. Maybe between now and next week's show, we will get a few of those. Reggie, of course, myself and Steph did the little special on Friday morning, reference the Lord Kane, York and Toulouse into Super League. Your thoughts on that, mate?
Yeah, I saw that. I expected it. It wasn't a shock for me. Toulouse, both teams deserve to be in there. They played out the grand final, championship grand final. Toulouse maybe surprised many by winning it. I think the right decision has been made on that.
Fair play. I, for one, really looking forward to your... I mean, we should have a bit of time tonight, so let's do it. Greg Roach in the chat straight away. What's the panel's view on the Rugby League journalists having a spat public argument this week? Is it embarrassing for our game, or is it good for raising the profile? Ask Greg. Steph, your immediate response to that? I think he's talking about the Matt Shaw, little bit of a tit-arte on X, I think is what he's talking about there.
Yeah, unprofessional.
Oh.
Sorry, was it?
No, carry on. You started. You may as well finish in a mastermind kind of way.
Greg, too many Gregs. There can be only one, Mr. Roach. Unprofessional, as far as I'm concerned. Journalists shouldn't be behaving like that. As a journalist myself, it does put focus on the sport, but do we need publicity like that? For me, no. As a journalist, I think you don't want to be seen to be engaged in that sort of behaviour. It's very unprofessional as far as I'm concerned.
Well, as a man who is absolutely the only journalist on this panel that's got letters by his name, fair enough. I can't argue with that. Steph, your thoughts?
It's a bit of both for me. I mean, you never want to wear your dirty laundry. Maybe it could have been done over private messaging rather than in the public domain. But if people feel they want to put the point straight, X is a platform for doing that. And if you feel that someone said something that about you, then you probably want other people to know the actual truth or whatever it is. So let them crack on.
He's probably trying to out Derek and Wigan.
Well, my take is, I had a quick look at that, and if it's documented, if it's on the record. So, for example, if you have produced an article or you produced a podcast where you have said something, that's on the record. So you should have to defend that. If you've said something, you've said it. If you've not, you've not. So it's as simple as that. I mean, if you've said something, it's on the record. I don't think you need to defend your position. If somebody's calling you out for other things, then you might want to, for your own credibility and for your own, your own standing in the game, for your reputation, defend yourself. So it's an interesting one. But
there are ways and means of doing it without getting into a slanging match.
For me, I just want us all to report on what goes on the pitch and what goes on for the betterment of the sport. And I think that, the moment it becomes about you, the moment it becomes about, like, for example, we ever got to the point where we were above ourselves and actually took ourselves to the nth degree of serious, even though we do take the game very, very serious, we're happy to be shot at. And, the amount of things that come my way on social media, I don't think I respond to very little of it because I don't need to. I think the moment you do respond, you are giving oxygen to those arguments. And I just, don't know about you boys, but I prefer not to be fair. Anyway, there you go. So well done. Yeah, York, looking forward to that. Toulouse, looking forward to that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I've just got something else there, but we'll do that in a mo. Isn't it lovely when you get into the winter months when you can just have a debate, you can sit back, you can relax, you can have a nice Merlot and just enjoy a bit of rugby league chat. It's wonderful. And of course, the biggest story of the week was this: Paul Rowley has gone to Saints, boys. This is massive, absolutely massive. So let's have a little look at Paul's career and let's have a chat about Paul heading up the Saints. And as you can see there, for those on the podcast, I have put up on the screen Paul Rowley, a comparison. And on the screen, we've got Justin Holbrook, we've got Madge Maguire, we've got Kristen Wolfe, Brian Noble, Ian Millwall, Sean McRae, Brian McDermott, Tony Smith. What have all these boys got in common, gentlemen? Do we know?
They've won a title.
Correct. They've won a title. Now people will say, so's Matt Pete, so's Willie Peters. I know. But they're pretty current. Let's be fair. They're pretty current. And, and look, taking nothing away from Matty Pete, but, Matty Pete went into Wigan, really good squad, and he's done immensely well with it. Willie Peters done immensely well with KR. But I just wanted to have a look at, when we think of Super League coaches, these are the type of names that we think of. Yes, we know about the present crop. But if I say to you, name some of the top coaches in Super League in the last, since 1996, Willie Peters might get mentioned, but I think if you're not a KR fan, one of these will be probably mentioned first. Same with Matt Pete. Matt Pete might get mentioned, but if you're not a Wigan Warriors fan, probably one of these is getting mentioned first. Would we agree with that?
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, don't get wrong, in 15 years' time, Matt Pete, Willie Peters will be right in that conversation. Of course they will. So here's the thing, boys, right? Where do you think, on a win percentage, that Paul Rowley compares to these 8 coaches?
He'll be right up there, I'd imagine. I mean, this season's probably not done him any favours in terms of...
Including this season, yeah.
Including this season. I'd probably say in the middle. In the middle.
Reggie?
Yeah, he's taken a hit this season, hasn't he, Paul Rowley?
Yeah.
A little bit unfair, maybe. I reckon he's up there with them. I reckon, yeah.
You reckon he's up there? Right, okay. Good evening to Dawn Baker, Matty Sale. Good evening to you as well. Stuart Innes is with us. 2nd November, Cumbria versus Nigeria at Barrow at 2 p.m. Pay on the gate. Yes, there's your plug, Stuart Minnis. So Cumbria versus Nigeria at Barrow, 2 p.m. Pay on the gate. Make sure you go and support some Cumbrian rugby league. Before we actually get into where he actually sits, let's have a quick look at his career. Lee Leopard's coach, of course, from 2008 to 2015. And the best man to comment on this will be Steph. Steph, it's fair to say when he took over at Lee, you were in the doldrums, you were in the lower echelons of the league. And there's no doubt about it. Paul, let's be fair. Would you say, I mean, obviously, it's all about the present day. It's all about what Adrian Lamb's doing, etc. But there's no doubt about it. The galvanising of Lee, the club, probably started under Paul.
Yeah, definitely. When he came in, he made a massive difference. And I think at the time when he left, most Lee fans didn't want him to go. It was all the Toronto saga. One thing people always said is he never got Lee promoted. But unfortunately for Paul, when he did win the championship, win the league, promotion wasn't available. It was under the franchising model. But no. Very, very good coach at Lee, and that win record was phenomenal from where it started. And I think if he went on his last couple of seasons, it's probably a lot higher than that as well. So he were a dominant force under Paul Rowley.
And then, of course, went from there to Toronto Wolfpack, a win ratio of 84.62%. Of course, they did invest heavily under his stewardship, but back-to-back league wins for the Toronto Wolfpack for Paul. Before, of course, the dizzy heights of Salford came his way. And of course, when Paul took over, this was, of course, a Salford side that had got to a grand final, that had done well in the Challenge Cup. And when he first got there, straight into the playoffs, no problems whatsoever, and got to a semi-final as well. Knocked out in the semi-final. In his second season, 2023, 7th place, just outside quarterfinals, then 24, an incredible 24, 4th place finish, highest Salford finished under Paul. Of course, we're knocked out by Lee Leopards. Was it Lee? No, that was last year, wasn't it?
No. 24 was Lee.
24, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry,
that's below. My apologies. Yeah, that's right. I'm on to 24. So, yeah, 4th place elimination against Lee in what was a barnstorming game. It has to be said, great game. Full house as well at Salford. If only that could have been an everyday occurrence down there. Incredible. But it's fair to say, once he left Lee, Greg, again, it is a very, very good resume, isn't it, in terms of what he's achieved in the game?
It is. He's got a great win ratio, but remember they were, and no disrespect, the high percentage of that was against lower league teams. But to have, more than a 40% win ratio with Salford, who, again, without disrespect, are probably a team that's not expected to hit the dizzy heights of the top 6 before he took over them, even though they did. He's one of these coaches, and I think he's probably, I would put him in the same bracket as maybe Darryl Powell, who can work well with limited means and can turn players who may be underperforming into performing players, and that's a mark of the kind of a coach he is. And if he can convert that to St Helens, where he'll have a number of star names under his belt, Saints could very well be a force to be reckoned with over the next few seasons. It might take him a while, and I hope he gets that time to get his methods ingrained in there. So it could take a season. Hope he's given the time, because he's one of the game's good guys, and he's a great coach given limited resources. So I think I hope, in fingers crossed, it's not the kind of move that Darryl Powell had when he went to Warrington. I hope he's given the time and the patience to build another dynasty at Saints, because that's what he's capable of.
Call me cynical. I do find it quite odd that he's gone down there and within 48 hours of his arrival, Brewdog are the new sponsors. Enjoy your freebies, Paul. Enjoy your freebies, sir. Bit of punk IPA, didn't hurt anyone, did it? But no, on a serious note, look, I think he's a different type of coach to Darryl Powell. We know that Darryl went into Warrington and he went with an iron fist, and he went to try and change a culture.
But in all fairness, Darryl, sorry to interrupt, Dave, that was the instructions Darryl Powell was given.
I'm not having a go, but it's a different management style.
Oh, yeah,
right?
I agree.
That's where I'm going, right? Whereas Paul has got a different, he galvanizes, he motivates, he picks people up. It's a different style of management. And even Darryl Powell, I think, has said that he learned a lot out of his time at Warrington. So I think Paul will go in there, and I think, and we saw last season what he did with Salford. We saw it at very close quarters. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Steph, I think he will love, first of all, we'll get onto recruitment in a minute. That's a different argument. Let's talk about the up-and-coming superstars of St Helens. Noah Stevens, Owen Dagnall, Harry Robertson, George Whitby. And probably Harry Robertson will be in there. George Delaney. I'm on 2 hands already. And that's before we start talking about Wingfields and the rest. I think Paul will love that opportunity to go in there and really galvanise those young players.
Yeah, I think that'll be what he's most excited about. And I think he'll be he's very much an arm round the shoulder kind of coach, but obviously will discipline if he needs to. But he's very much a player's coach in that respect. So I think those young lads at Saints will really come on under that kind of management style. I think his biggest headache, one of the biggest headaches he's got to solve, is the Wellesby Sailor situation. So that's going to be a test for him.
I sent him a text message on that. Yeah. Good luck with the conundrum.
Yes. Well, yeah, and it is. It's a very difficult one for him to solve that to straight into it. I think the other one is the aging crop of players at Saints. There's quite a few there that are going to need to be replaced, so he's going to have to make the call on when to do that and who to bring in. Paul's going to go into a situation now where he can pretty much sign people who he wants. That's going to be the difficult part, because I don't think he's been in that situation before, really. Maybe Toronto, he had a bit of money to spend. So it's a different environment for him as well. But I do feel that I think everyone's always cried out for him to be in this situation because we all believe what a fantastic coach he is. I'm convinced he's going to do really well there. And I think he'll command through his style of rugby as well, will command Saints' fans' appreciation. I think they'll really enjoy the style of rugby Paul will bring because he plays rugby the Saints way.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I think when Saints played Salford, there was a lot of Saints fans that stayed behind to shake him by the hand, as I think a lot of rugby league fans did last season. It's an interesting comment about recruitment. I mean, look, there's been a lot of people speculating, where's the recruitment at Saints? Where is it? Nobody's come. Perhaps, just perhaps, and I've got to give Saints a bit of credit here. If Paul Wellens was always going to be moved on, and clearly the fact that we've had no incomings would suggest that this has been done above board, that Paul has not been approached wrongly, which has happened. We know that happens in sport. The fact that we've seen no recruitment as yet, Saints maybe have been holding on, thinking whoever we bring in, we want the new coach to have a hand in that. So I think, Greg, that this would suggest that Saints have done this above board, right on the knuckle, and that's why we haven't seen any recruitment yet, because they wanted the new coach to have a full influence on the kind of player that he wanted to coach at St. Helens in 2026. Would you agree?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, Dave. Yeah, it looks like a lot of Saints fans were calling for Wellens to go earlier in the season. The board has known that his contract is up at the end of this season, and he's been moved on. As you say, yeah, why bring signings in if they know the existing coach won't be here next season? Bring in another guy, let that guy stamp his mark on that team. But as you say, Rowley's really good at working with, Paul Rowley's really good at working with young players, and he's got some really outstanding young talent. You named them there. He's got some outstanding young talent, so maybe he thinks maybe a couple of signings will be enough to make the impact that Saints will want to have next season.
Yeah, and I want to go back to what you said a moment ago, Steph, about the older players. What Paul's done is incredible. I mean, you've only got to think of players like Callum Watkins, who he brought in at Salford, and Callum was devastated to leave Salford, and he got a right tune out of Callum Watkins. That's just one of many examples that we could give under his stewardship at Salford. And then, of course, the other players like the Ormonroyds of this world, he just took them onto a different level. So even Tyler Dupree. So even so we've been talking for a lot. There's a lot of key St. Helens players that are now the other side of 30. Darryl Clark, Alex Wormsley, of course, 35, Big Al, Mark Percival, Johnny Lomax, really big players in the dressing room. But what we've seen Paul do many times again is get an extra 5-10% out the old guard. And it'd be interesting to see, not only, I'm confident that the younger generation at Saints will feed off Paul, everything about him. I really do believe that. But I also think the older generation at Saints, I think Paul will have the ability to help, to get them on side and to get them to help him to stamp his authority in the dressing room, to stamp his authority in terms of the style of play that he wants, so that the transition from, and let's be fair, it is going to be a transition over the next 2 or 3 years for Saints, whilst these older guys start to go out and new blood comes in. They're going to need that we're in this together approach. And I think Paul can do that with the help of those older players.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a leadership group. That's what he did at Salford. He had a good mix of old, new talent, ones that were leaders, ones that needed leading. And bringing that, so that's why I mentioned Tyler Dupree, classic example. I think Dupree came from Widnes, if I remember rightly, into that Salford side and became a superstar to the point where Wigan paid a big transfer fee for him. Obviously, not gone on to fulfil as much as we expected, but he looked a world beater under Paul Rowley. And no, but I think you're right with the older ones. Paul will, I'm sure, get an extra 10-20% out of them, reinvigorate their careers in terms of going on to that next level, but really giving them the target of supporting those younger lads and that added motivation as well. And that's one thing that Paul has definitely got is as a motivator. He can get people to play for him and they enjoy playing for him. And that's half the battle in rugby league. If you've got sort of coach you'd run through brick walls for, that can up your performance by 10-15%, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And Greg, again, just coming back to journalists and coming, the rest of it, what a brilliant brilliant announcement video Saints
Oh.
put together for Paul, and it was destroyed because it had already been announced. I mean,
Yeah.
again, a missed opportunity. If that was live on Sky, if that went live on Facebook and nobody knew, and it hits, and you see the I mean, again, I can't remember a time other than Wolfie flying over, Totally Wicked Stadium, and that backfired. But I've never seen in rugby league, tell me if I'm wrong, a coach being announced with that much style. And
No.
it would have been a wonderful thing if that had just hit social media. Nobody would have known. Hit Sky Sports News. Again, eyes on the sport, bit of theatre, but with a missed opportunity again.
Yeah, the trouble is, David, in this age of social media and journalists are scrabbling to get that news out there first. So unfortunately, it's very, very difficult to keep things under wraps like that. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Though, I mean, it was a classy video, very cleverly done. And hats off. I was going to mention, actually, if you hadn't mentioned it, that I was really impressed with the unveiling, even though it had been spoilt. I still think it was a very, very well produced, well put together, well thought out video, launch video, and an introduction to the Saints fans. I'm just waiting for Steve McNamara to be brought in by the Red Arrows now.
Well, where's Steve going again? Anyway, but genuinely right. I mean, we'll get to where Paul's standing is in that crop of 8 in a moment. St. Helens, the last 2 seasons, Steph, lost to Warrington in an elimination playoff game 1, and gave them a right scare. That was a classic game of rugby league. That was one of those games where never watched the game of rugby league. Here, watch this. I mean, it was in that part of the shelf, wasn't it? And then, of course, this year, nobody gave him a prayer against Leeds. Let's be absolutely honest. Wonderful try as well. But if Paul Wellens is underperforming Saints, how can you say that? I mean, we were a big supporter of Paul last season, and we stand by that. But if Paul Wellens' Saints can get to 6th, 5th, etc., 4th, whatever, then is the announcement of Paul Rowley almost a guaranteed certainty that Saints will be in the playoffs again in 2026? And depending on the recruitment that he gets, could potentially go back to being at the top table and potentially getting to Old Trafford?
I think the safest bet in rugby league is Saints will make the playoffs. I think it's happened every year, hasn't it? It's never not happened. So that's kiss of death for Paul there. He'll love me for that one. But no, I think it does. I think I expect them to go one better this year, and potentially get to the grand final. I think a lot will depend on who they bring in. They're going to have to make some signings. That is for sure. But I think it only needs 1 or 2 players at Saints to make the difference. If they can get a halfback, and I know that's easier said than done.
They've got one in Whitby, though, haven't they?
Well,
George Whitby.
Yeah, but I'd still, whether Whitby's got enough to get into a grand final, I'm not so sure. In the future, maybe, but not straight away. And that's where I think they could maybe do with getting maybe even someone like Nicarima would be. Paul knows him well. Someone like that could come in and do a job for them next season, with spelling in with Whitby for some of the lesser opposition, maybe to get Whitby's confidence up. But he may just go straight with Whitby and blood the lad. He's proved he can do it, certainly. So it's going to be very interesting. But I've every confidence they'll be at least a top 6 side, if not higher.
So Salford players that have yet to be announced at another club. Easton Masters, there's a lot of rumours over Easton Masters and where he's going, but not signed anywhere yet. It might already be done and dusted. Nene McDonald, another one. You look at Nene McDonald and you're thinking, okay, that's an interesting thought. A lot of them have moved on. We know a lot of them have moved on. But in Nene and Easton Masters, again, father time. In terms of Percival, we know he's in and out a little bit. He's still a great player, Mark Percival, don't get me wrong, but we know he's a little bit injury prone. Would you see Greg in maybe tempted to bring in a Nene McDonald? I mean, Saints have been rumoured for McDonald and Masters before, this won't come as a surprise to Saints fans. Could you see maybe one of those two, both of those two, going with him to Saints?
I don't think there's no reason why we shouldn't. Think he might go for that. He knows them well. He's worked with them. So why not? they may well be tempted to go to one of the promoted clubs. I can't see it myself, but there's no reason why Paul Rowley might not go back to his old club. We've seen lots of coaches do that, go back to their previous employers and kind of cherry pick some of the players. So yeah, it's a possibility. We've got a few months before the season starts in February. So who knows, mate? I mean, there's lots of ifs and buts at this time of the year when the season's just closed. Get the Ashes out of the way, and I think everybody will take a deep breath when the Ashes are out of the way, and then once pre-season starts and we sit down with the board, etc., I think that's when we'll start to see things move again.
Yeah, I mean, the only other one, Steph, that I didn't mention, and again, I've not heard where he's gone, is Joe Mellor. Now, again, St. Helens fans might go, we don't need Joe Mellor, you've got Jake Burns, but again, Darryl Clark's of an age. Joe, I felt, was very good last year. Very, very good. I think they're the three. I mean, I've not heard any rumour really as to where those guys are going, if they're going anywhere. Your thoughts on that, Steph?
In terms of Mellor to Saints?
Yeah.
I can't see that. I think Joe may end up at Bradford, somewhere like that. He may even fancy a jaunt to Toulouse. It wouldn't be a bad move for him. Then again, he may decide to go for a Halifax or a Widnes, and go part time, but still get decent money there. One thing's for certain is Joe's still got some gas left in the tank. So yeah, it would be interesting to see where he does. But I don't see him going to St. Helens.
I think Joe Mellor's one of those players that flies under the radar a lot of the time, but does a good job.
Gas in the tank and grape in the glass. Good evening to Gary Bow. Gary Bow, sir, all the very, very best. Outstanding. Yeah, good chat. Right, let's get back to that little conundrum that I gave you a little bit earlier on in the show. So these were the 8 coaches that I said. If you were thinking of Super League coaches, a pedigree in the Super League era since 1996, the likes of Justin Holbrook, Madge Maguire, Kristen Wolfe, Brian Noble, Ian Millward, Sean McRae, Brian McDermott, and Tony Smith would be right up there in people's thinking. Right, let's do it. Here we go. Now, there are 8. With Paul, it's 9. Where do you think he's going to be ranked? What number? What do you think he'd be ranked, including this season? Where do you think he'd be ranked against these 8 as a win percentage? You're going third. Where are you going, Greg?
Yeah, you've got to think that the longevity of people like Brian Noble, who was around for a long, long time at Bradford, at Wigan, had a big win percentage. I think he won 3 or 4 grand finals with Bradford. Mm-hmm. Then you got to look at Sean McRae, who was around for a long time.
Well, I'll give you a clue.
I'm going to say 4th.
You're going to go 4th. Brian Noble's win percentage was 64.34%.
Okay. I'd say 4th behind Noble, McRae, McDermott, and Millward.
Well, that's
5th.
Sorry, yeah. 4th behind Noble, McRae.
You're going 5th. Yeah. Okay, well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, right? Here we go. This is the answer. He is 4th. 4th. Kristen Wolfe tops the table at 69.4% win ratio. Then it's Brian Noble at 64.34. Then it's Ian Millward at 63.94. And then it's Paul at 63.14.
Wow. Thought Sean McRae would be higher than there.
Sean McRae, in his coaching career, 56.96%.
Wow.
Yeah,
he was around forever. Sean McRae
he was.
Super League.
Even Madge Maguire, who's just won the NRL Championship with the Brisbane Broncos, 50.77 in his coaching career. Now people go, well, yeah, but he's in the NRL. Don't look. This is just a straight shootout. Who has got the highest win percentage as a coach? But if we take out this season, he is second only to Kristen Wolfe.
That is.
St. Helens fans, if you weren't aware of that, be very excited. Paul, I'm sorry to put that much pressure on you, mate. But Paul Rowley is a coach of absolute quality. There's no doubt about that. Now, people will question, can he go to the top table and deliver? I don't see why not. And I personally am delighted that an English coach who has been, let's be fair, has done his apprenticeship, done it the hard way. You know, went to Lee in the doldrums of Division 2, Steph, back at, was it 2, 1, 1, 2?
Championship.
Championship, yeah. You know, went down there, galvanised them, brought them up, gave them a couple of championship wins, then went to Toronto, took on a project that, let's be fair, took character to do. Takes character to take on a new franchise. Did that. You know, you think about it from this point of view, ladies and gentlemen. When a new franchise comes out in the NRL, Wayne Bennett is rolled out because they want that new franchise to have a really good set of hands around it. Paul Rowley, Toronto Wolfpack. And it weren't Paul's fault that Toronto Wolfpack went, you know, the wrong way. And then, of course, went to Salford. And then both in the good times, but also last year in the bad times, you know, handled it with absolute class and grace. I think for me personally, Wakefield was a guilty pleasure this year. I think York will be a guilty pleasure this year for many people. I think there's a lot of love for York. But I tell you, I've got no love for Saints. Paul knows I've got no love for Saints. You know, no person who doesn't support Saints, but we call it straight here at Super League Raw. And nothing would give me greater pleasure than to see Paul do well at Saints. It'd be great to see an English coach given one of the big jobs and delivering, who hasn't come through the system. You know, you look at Matty Pete, he's come through the system. This is an appointment into the role. We wish him nothing but the best. But Steph, second only to Kristen Wolf. That's it's not bad, is it?
No, and I mean, in terms of Super League history, the most successful clubs, Wigan and Saints, both having English coaches. Yeah. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, that's the real testament to those two coaches and those two clubs. So yeah, it's exciting times. I you know, there's nobody who more wants Paul to do well than me. You know, as a Lee lad, you know, he's one of our own, and we always like to see our own do well. So he's a phenomenal coach. We all saw that intimately. Like I said, we didn't want him to go when he went to Toronto, and there was the fallout from that. But still, a time for Paul. He's a great guy, and those wounds have healed a little bit now. And you know, I'm sure he likes seeing Lee do well as well. But no, I'm sure he'll be very successful at Saints, and they should rightly be very excited about what's to come there because it's going to be. I'm convinced it's going to be good for them.
Yeah, I'd agree. John Davidson, by all accounts, thanks, Adam. Nick Arima's off to Bradford this afternoon.
I was about to say that, yeah.
We got rumours of that. You know, we were aware of that, but without a contract, without ink on paper, you know, all bets are off. But if that contract's been signed, then fair enough. But yeah, very good chat. We wish Paul well. Many congratulations to Paul. Right, where are you going to be on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I'll tell you where a lot of the Super League Raw community are going to be. They're going to be at the Box at Deansgate from 12:30 p.m. Get yourself down there, ladies and gentlemen. The Box at Deansgate. Those who are not going to Wembley can come and enjoy Ashes 1 with the Super League Raw community. Even if you're not a member, come and experience the Super League Raw team. Come down to the Box at Deansgate with Super League Raw this Saturday from 12:30 p.m. We'll be having a right good laugh and banter down there with the lads and lasses. Come and join it. If you're in and around Manchester this coming Saturday and you want to watch the Ashes with friendly folk, then that is the place to be. And a big thank you on behalf of the entire Super League Raw community to Greg Roach for organising that. Greg, you're an absolute gentleman.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, Matty Pete is 76% according to Wikipedia. Well, yeah, he is because, of course, he's treble-winning Matty Pete. Like I say, it's about consistency. Once he's 5-10 seasons in, like those other 8 coaches, then, of course, that'll be a fair reflection on Matt Pete, albeit he's doing a phenomenal job. And that's why we didn't use him or Willie Peters, because what we're looking at is coaches that have been around for the last 10 years or so in Super League or in the NRL that have been to Super League as a comparison. But, yeah, Matty Pete does have an incredible win percentage, as does Willie Peters. Right, let's get back in. We're going to have a quick break for about 4 minutes, guys. 4 minutes you've got for a comfort break in about 10 minutes time. But before we get to that, let's pick up where we left off last week. We were talking about second rowers, and this, of course, was the 32-man squad that Sean Wayne picked earlier in the season to come and have a little meet-up. And we had a chat about this. We're very brief. I want to get into a bit more detail with regards to this. James Batchelor, Morgan Gannon, James McDonnell, Dream Team, James McDonnell, Junior Nsemba, who's not had a bad who's not had a bad game, to be fair. Well, if Billy Ingram would love to, Dave, but going to all 3 tests, good. Get to the Bluebell for Ashes game 2, Billy, because that's where we'll be. More details in the chat, my friend. But enjoy all 3 games, sir. And then, of course, omitted was Dean Hadley, and we said Frankie Holton, because I felt Frankie, defensive stats, incredible player, Frankie Holton. He's not, let's be fair, he's not on the tip of everybody's tongue, but we get into the detail at Super League Raw, and let me tell you, Frankie Holton, he punches. Don't you worry about that. And of course, when the squad was announced, and none of them found the way into it. We expected an influx of NRL. We did. We expected that. We weren't expecting John Bateman. And last week, very briefly, I put up some stats. These were those stats. So let's have a look at them, because we didn't get the chance last week because it came right at the end of the show. James McDonald, Dean Hadley, Dream Teamers. Doesn't count by all accounts, but there you go. The Dream Teamers. There you go. And James Batchelor, who, let's be fair, has been very consistent all season and had a wow of a grand final. And then there's John Bateman. Now, people turn around, and we got a pelter, actually. We were told, people don't get into the detail. Those people clearly don't watch what we do. Hopefully they're watching tonight. We do get into the detail. And whilst I can see John Bateman is playing in a far superior competition, I will concede that. We've also got to take into his age. His age has got to be taken into account. He's been there. He's done it. He's worn an England shirt when we haven't been up to much. And sometimes there comes a point where you've got to try something new. You've got to, and I think certainly in the case of James McDonald, I mean, again, get into the detail. The amount of people who said, yeah, but James McDonald's Irish.
So's Jake Thewlis, apparently.
Yeah, exactly, mate. I mean, this is rugby league. Since when does that matter? He was called into the 32-man call-up squad, and we were getting pelters getting into the detail. Come on, do me a favour. But James McDonald, 27 appearances, 8 tries, 57. Batters all of them on tackle busts. He's got the highest clean break. He made the most tackles of the lot of them. His tackle efficiency, while slightly down on Dean Hadley, still a very respectable 92%, and his meters at 1,800. So for me, can somebody please tell me, why is James McDonald not in the Ashes test? Can somebody tell me? He's bonkers.
I could be facetious and say he's never played for Wigan, but that would be me being facetious. I don't know. He's been absolutely on the ball all season for me. He's been one of the standout Leeds players in what has turned out to be a very, very good Leeds team this season. I don't know. I don't know why he's not in there.
But he did. But he started his career at Wigan, Greg.
Yeah, but he doesn't wear a Wigan shirt now.
Well, I know, but neither does John Bateman. So all bets are off, aren't they? All bets are off. He qualifies on that basis.
It's the only thing I could think of, Dave.
Right, fair enough. Fair enough. Dean Hadley, and again, Steph. I mean, first of all, James McDonald, but also Dino, Dream Teamer. And again, not fashionable. I mean. If Dean's watching, I apologise, mate. He's just not fashionable. There's certain players, but who needs fashionable players? You need a team. You need players that are going to be at the top of the game. Steph,
this is why having Wayne in charge of England's a joke for me, because he even came out with himself. He doesn't look at the dream team. He doesn't know he selects it. Blah 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 blah. They're in the dream team because they've been consistently the best players, and you've got forget who's done a job for you previously. That's all well and good, and I get it to a point. However, when you're playing the best in the world, you need your most informed players, and also players who deserve to be in that team on merit, not just on what they've done for you previously. And I think James McDonald, Hadley, both should have been in the squad for me. I don't get why they're not, but that's going to be Wayne's thing, and we could be completely wrong, and we might beat the Aussies 3-0. But if we do, I'll show my backside in Woolworths window.
Thank God Woolworths is closed down.
I was going to say, yeah, you'll have half a shot there, mate. Hey, pick and mix, anyone. But Reggie, but do you know what? We're going to get to the Aussie team a little bit later in the show. But what you will see when we get, and by the way, folks, please share now to your friends, your family, your rugby league friends. Share this show now, because there'll be a lot of people who don't know too much about this Ashes squad that Australia are bringing over because they don't watch the NRL. And a lot of you who watch the NRL as well. Maybe we'll fill in a few blanks for you this evening. So we are going to go depth on the Australian squad, and we're going to go into that a little bit later in the show. So do share right now. Share it now, because believe me, nobody's going to get as in depth as we are into the Australian squad tonight. You'd expect nothing less from Super League Raw. We don't do high level. We don't do clickbait. We do in the guts. Get that into your son. We are the bruising hard tackle of Super League. We get right into the midriff. That's where we go. We love a bit of biff here at Super League Raw. No doubt about that whatsoever. But the interesting thing, boys, coming on a point, I think Greg put this in my head as he was talking. I don't know exactly what he said, but he put it into my head. When we look at the Australian squad in a bit, you are going to see synergies. Great word for a Tuesday night, that at 51 minutes past 8. We're going to see synergies, okay? You're going to see Brisbane Broncos players playing in the Ashes game 1. You're going to see Melbourne Storm combinations in their starting 17. Where's our synergies? You know, we've got a Hull KR side that have won a treble. Where's the synergies? Where's the synergies? You know, no Elliot. I mean, you know, in fact, let's move on. You know, no Elliot Minchella. You know, he was in the meet-up squad. Was Elliot Minchella, the captain of a treble-winning team? And what does he do? He brings in Callum Watkins. Now, again, I said I've got no issue with Callum. Great pro, been an incredible pro. What a player Callum Watkins has been. It's been a pleasure watching him play the great game of rugby league. But Elliot Minchella's time is now, to quote the great Moloko. Do you know what I'm saying? It is, isn't it? I mean, you look at the. I mean, I didn't expect Ben Curry in. No, Ben Curry was in an Ashley squad. No. Morgan Knowles was always in. Never a doubt. Never a doubt. But boys, synergies. Where's Elliot Minchella?
Well, when you think that, but surely Wayne knew that second row of the Aussies in that first test is going to be Angus Crichton and Hudson Young. You only have to have watched one NRL game all season to know that they are going to be your Aussie second row, and that Yo is going to be your loose forward. Callum Watkins will, as good as he is, will not be a match for either of those second rows. I'm sorry, and that's just the way it is. As good as Callum Watkins is and has been, these guys are just unbelievable second rowers. Tim Yo, the best loose forward on the planet. You know, so for me, you have to plan. You have to think about forward plan, and Sean Wayne must have known that these players were going to be in this Aussie squad, barring injury. So you need players that can match them for their intensity. And Callum Watkins, as I say, no disrespect to him, can he match that second row with his intensity? Can he provide the intensity, the skill, the lines that these players run? Can Callum Watkins match that both in defence and attack? I don't think he can.
Well, I mean, look, Steph, you'll agree with me. Callum, great. And it's not Callum's fault. I said this last week.
No, it's not. It's not his fault.
If you get a phone call from the England coach, do you want to play against the Aussies? You're not going to say no. So this isn't Callum's fault. But for me, he should not be in this. He shouldn't be in this position because exactly we've got younger players that, you know, again, Steph, I say it again. Their time is now. James Batchelor's time is now. Dean Hadley, his time is now. James McDonald, incredible season. His time is now, and he's picked Callum Watkins.
Yeah, and I think the biggest disappointment and it's put a real dampener on the Ashes series for me, and it might be premature. I may be proved to be right with that or not, but it's a big miss for these players that are in the prime, you know, playing the best rugby they've ever played in their lives, to have the chance to go up against the Aussies. But we pick players who've been there and done it before, who are coming to the end of their careers. So who've had decent seasons. They wouldn't be in the squad if they hadn't had a decent season. But it's just such a wasted opportunity for me, and it's predictable and it's easy, you know. And that's one thing you don't have to give the Aussies. You need to give them deception, give them the shock of something they've not gone up against before. as Australia looking at this, their press is having a field day already with it in terms of what they're going to do and stuff like that, which may be, motivation for our lads. And we maybe see an up in performance, because of that, and wanting to prove them wrong, which will be great. But I just feel for the lads who should be getting their opportunity now, and they're being robbed of it because of past players' performances not on form.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I saw some people coming out of the press conference saying that, with England are up for it, they're really positive. Well, they're not going to be, are they? They're not going to be. I'm not being
they're not, they shouldn't be there.
Exactly, but it's all this, potential and reality. Dear me, potentially I've got a six-pack, and then I look in the mirror and I see reality. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. It really is. Anyway, before we get into the Australian squad, because we've done that, and later on in the show we are going to pick who we would pick out of Sean's squad, not our squad. Out of Sean's squad. We've got to work with what Sean's given us. So in terms of what Sean's picked, we picked our 1 to 17 to start the Ashes at Wembley. We'll do that later in the show. But in order for the lads to just go and get a quick comfort break, I put a little word out to the members. What have been their moments of 2025? And this is part one. We're going to be doing this throughout the winter months. And the first crop of members sent me some videos. Don't worry if yours isn't there. You'll be on next week's. But this is what they had to say, their moments of 2025. Be quick, boys. Be quick.
Without a doubt, my favourite part of the 2025 Super League season has got to be the entire Super League season. I've enjoyed it more than I've enjoyed any other season, and not just because Hull KR, won the treble, in case anybody didn't know, but because of everything that it brought me to Super League Raw, being able to share my passion for rugby league in a safe space and with other like-minded people, meeting some wonderful people, and also the opportunities that it's given us and the places we've travelled and the times we've had together as a family. It's been absolutely outstanding.
Hello, Super League Raw. Nice minute here. Highlights of 2025 for me. Personal view, Gas beating Wakefield 26-22, and general Super League moment was the white to white try when Saints beat Leeds in the playoffs. Thank you.
So my top moment for 2025 will have to have been the Brick Community Stadium on the 11th of July when Wigan honoured Sibylle Boston just for the ceremony and for everything that they did for him. It was just a magical moment.
I have way too many on the field favourite moments for 2025, so I'm going to pick my favourite off the field moment for 2025, and that is becoming a part of the Super League Raw community. It's a fantastic community to be a part of. All the members are so welcoming and I've loved every minute of it, and I cannot wait to go into 2026 as a part of this fantastic community. Thanks, guys.
Highlights of the season every week, the fantastic team of the week, watching the Giants win, after show party at the Blue Bell. I paused then because I can't quite remember all of it, and I won't be the only one. But highlight of the season was turning up to a Giants game with Big Joel to be surprised by loads of Super League Raw members who were there. That was great touching.
My favourite moment of 2025 has got to be joining Super League Raw and also experiencing Grand Final and obviously seeing Hull KR win it because it was their year. I love being a part of this amazing community.
My favourite moment of 2025 is experiencing other stadiums and other rugby league matches other than Leeds.
It's got to be the Liam Horn try in the 78th minute of Castleford v St Helens. Absolute peach, and probably one of the very few moments of the cast season that I can really look back and enjoy.
So my favourite moment of 2025 was meeting all the Super League Raw members at the Grand Final, enjoying the night with them in the afternoon, and I can't wait to do it again.
Hi Dave, Bazza here. Highlight of 2025. So many. It's been an incredible year for Hull KR. If I was to pick one, it'd have to be the Challenge Cup final because it just meant so much. 40 years of that. Yeah, has to be that one. And making so many great memories with the Super League Row community. Incredible. Keep up the good work.
So there you go. There you go. I'm not being funny, but when did Bob Calgees become a member?
No.
I was looking for Spit the Dog.
I thought it was a Chuckle brother.
No, it was Bob Calgees there, Basil, wasn't it?
It was.
I fancy dressed him. I was expecting the puppet to come up and everything. You know what I mean? That's a belter. For those listening on the podcast, go and have a watch of that on our YouTube channel. Bazza, Bob Calgees.
I interviewed Bob Calgees once.
Yeah. So I bet he thought he was back. Looking at that, outstanding. Good on you, Bazza. See, when that moustache kicks in, it's going to be good. Anyway, good job not seeing him for a bit. Anyway, some great memories there. Billy Boston, Craig, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What a shout that was from Craig. Great shout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant guy. And what a tribute Wigan made to him as well. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely to see it. And continues to do when the camera pans onto him, the reaction of the crowd. I think everyone does it at home.
Everybody's calling him Tom Selleck. What's the betting that Bazza gets a Gillette tomorrow? Anyway.
Is he a white chocolate or an almond Magnum?
Claire, if you're watching, what do you make of it? Hey, come on, Claire, let us know. Ah, dear God, I thought only Ken Dodd did a little tickle. Anyway, that's by the by. Let's not steady. Anyway,
that bombshell.
Wide to right. Not surprising that wide to right came up. That was, of course, Nigel Bennett. Not surprised at all. Yeah. An incredible moment. I have to say, that will loom large in a lot of people's memories of 2025, won't it? Incredible moment.
Yeah, wow. It's what the game was a bit of a damp squib in terms of the quality of that match, but the ending was phenomenal, and it goes to show even in games where it's not a brilliant match, that one moment can just make it, can't it? And that's why we all love rugby league.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Only rugby league can produce moments like that.
Couldn't agree with you more. If you want to be appearing on this, by the way, as we go through the winter, what were your memories of 2025? Then do send us them in. If you're a member, do it on the WhatsApp group. If you're a non-member, by all means, get involved. I might select the odd one or two. Of course, members will always take priority, but would love to know what you've enjoyed during the course of the season. Meetups, boys. Meetups came up quite a few times. We've had the Magic Weekend, Challenge Cup final. The grand final was just different stratosphere. Incredible day. And then, of course, Steph, the ones that you and Greg as well, you went to Salford with Matty Timms, Greg,
yeah.
Steph, you went up there to that wonderful game at Huddersfield where they all went and surprised the Huddersfield contingent. And that's wonderful, isn't it? I mean, they're memories that you'll remember for years to come. Great days.
Yeah,
absolutely. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Steph, go on. You go on, mate.
No, it's one of the, it's probably the best part of Super League Raw. We get to witter away on a Tuesday night our opinions on rugby league, and it still blows my mind that people listen to what we say, whether they disagree with us or not, and enjoy their Tuesday nights with us. But yeah, without doubt, meeting the community is phenomenal. We've all gained friends from doing this show, and that's growing week on week and month by month and year on year. And to go to Huddersfield and surprise Greg with those people that did that was heartwarming. It was lovely to see their reaction when that happened. But things like the Action for Alfie, getting to meet that family, because them coming into our community and being welcomed by everyone and supported by everyone. Matty Timms is if you're talking about my highlight, my highlight's Matty Timms running the marathon for Alfie. What an effort that was from Matt, and everybody loves Matty Timms, not just because of what he did then, but also what he's brought to this community. So yeah, for me, to go above and beyond, I think if we're dishing out awards, he would win mine.
Absolutely. Legend, absolute legend. And of course, who'd have known that Liam Horn scored a peach of a try this season? Well, Debbie Hasty absolutely delighted with Liam's efforts this season at the Castleford Tigers. Well done, wonderful stuff, outstanding. Keep those videos coming. We'll keep doing that throughout the winter months. But great.
He's playing 13, isn't he, for PNG this weekend? Liam Horn.
Yeah, I think he might be. Yeah.
13.
Yeah, that was a good game, wasn't it? The New Zealand one at the weekend, by the way. Just on a just separate note, cracking game. Yeah, the Pacific Cup, well worth a watch. Saturday, Sunday morning.
Definitely, yeah.
There was some great New Zealand, brilliant game. So I tell you what, there was a couple of tries in that gave John Bennison's a little bit of a. I mean, there's a couple of like, oof, is this John Benison Mark II?
I must admit, I thought Jack Smith was video ref at one point.
Happy days. Right, let's get back to the Ashes. Boys, unprecedented. We're on a Tuesday. Oh, hey up, Nige Bennett's gone in. Boys, raise a glass to Nige. He's bought us a drink. Nige, all the very
best, sir.
Great to see you on the video, Nige. Well done. But yeah, this is unprecedented. We're on a Tuesday outside of a Ashes Test 1 on Saturday, and the Aussies have already picked their squad and published it. Unprecedented. Now, this shows how fearful they are of England, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I mean, let's just. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. Sean can use this to his advantage, but Greg, have you ever known a team be that confident that they say, "Here, this is the 17 that you're facing. Give it your best shot, lads"?
Well, it's something they do a lot of down under. They produce the team sheets quite a few days before the game, so I'm not surprised, to be honest, because it's what the Aussies tend to do. I don't think it shows that they fear England. I think it's going to Sean Wayne. There you go, sunshine. See what you can do with that lot.
Unbelievable. I mean, John Hindley.
But it's great. I mean, you see the names on that, and I just can't wait to watch those players walk out at Wembley. It's going to be superb.
I have to say, Greg, sometimes I do think you're the man with the longest comma. I thought you'd finished there, mate. But anyway, we move on. John Hindley,
longest what?
Comma. Jonathan Inley in the chat. Worst Kangaroos team ever. Just hold my beer for a moment, Jonathan. Just hold my beer. You might change your mind in a few moments' time. Okay, we've been talking about, you know, Sean Wayne not embracing the future. Okay, the average age of this team is probably circa 26. Probably the majority of this squad will be around for the World Cup. Do you see Darryl Clark playing in the World Cup? Do you see Alex Walmsley playing? I agree that Alex Walmsley deserves to be in. Don't get me wrong. Do you see Alex Walmsley playing in the World Cup?
Quite possibly, yes.
I don't think that'd be a step too far, honestly. But look, Steph, it is, for me, this just shows a lack of, well, no, it's not a lack of, it's supreme confidence. The you know, I agree. I get what Greg's saying. I mean, we see at Origin sometimes they'll announce the teams early. You know,
they do announce the teams 3 or 4 days in advance, mate, in the NRL.
But this is an Ashes test. This is an Ashes test, mate. This is
Rugby. What it is, mate. They're supreme.
I'm not disputing. Exactly. I agree with you. But it does reek a little bit, Steph, of right? I mean, and actually, is this a massive test out for Sean Wayne's coaching ability? Because he knows what he's facing. You know, there's no guesswork here 2 hours before kickoff. There's the team, Sean. Steph?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's supreme confidence, isn't it, to do it? I get what Reggie's saying, that this is the norm in the NRL. It definitely isn't over here. You know, we only find out an hour and a half before what our team's going to be. But I don't think they care. I really don't think that they're bothered in terms of who they're facing or mind games or anything like that. They're just here to play rugby, and they know they're good enough to win if they do play their own game. So why wouldn't you announce it? The players know who's playing, no guesswork, crack on, job done.
Absolutely. I think Gary's really looking forward to Colin Matangi's shout out from me a little bit later. But
yeah,
okay, Gary, no dramas, mate. No drama. We'll get to him, but he's well down the pecking order. Right, well, Jonathan, mate, I hope you're watching, Jonathan. Remember, share this. Make sure that you share this, even if you can't watch it live. Share it, bookmark it. We're going to get into detail now with regards to this Aussie squad, right? We've already had Jonathan Hindley, Johnny, mate, worst Aussie squad ever to face England. Right, let's start at fullback. Reece Walsh. 95 NRL appearances, 48 tries. He was the RLPA Rookie of the Year 2021. He made his State of Origin debut in 2023. In this season, he made 21 appearances, scored 14 tries, made 26 try assists. He broke 113 tackle busts, 10 breaks, a tackle efficiency of 73.8. He averaged 148 metres a game. He was the NRL Grand Final winner. He won the Clive Churchill Medal in the Grand Final. And let me tell you, not only the Grand Final, he had a wow, and I'll say it again, woo, of a playoff series. Let's do it again, boys. Let's give it your best Ric Flair. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's how good Reece Walsh was in the playoff series. Lads, arguably, the best number one in the world.
Oh, without a doubt, mate. Without a doubt. I thought he might have gone with Edwards' first try, just that first game.
Isn't it lovely he's not?
Say again.
Isn't it lovely that he's not?
It is. I thought he would go with Edwards for a bit of stability, a bit of defensive bite at the back. But when you look at the tackles that Walsh carried out in that grand final towards the end, when he was pushed into the halves because he lost both halfbacks in that grand final. And it wasn't his try that won the grand final. It was his defense in the last 10 minutes that won the grand final. This is a genuine superstar. You know, I am looking forward to seeing Reece Walsh play rugby league in this country more than anything. Yeah. He's just a phenomenal player. And anybody who thinks this is the worst Australian squad ever, you didn't see the squad that Warrington beat in 1978, mate.
Johnny's being facetious.
I think.
Well, I hope so. I hope
so.
He definitely is.
We'll keep that one. But look, Reece Walsh. I mean, look, Steph, you've said a couple of times that because since you've seen the squad, you felt a little bit low over the Ashes series, but it's worth the entrance fee to see not only Reece, there's a couple of other Aussie players that we're going to get to in a minute as well, but Reece Walsh has got the potential here to just sparkle, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if Sean Wayne was coaching Australia, he would have put Edwards in. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And that's not taking anything away from Edwards, who's a phenomenal fullback. And they're blessed with two of the very best in this Aussie squad.
Yeah.
And you could argue Edwards is a little bit unlucky that Reece has had the season he's had, especially the end of season that he's had, which has probably put him just above him. But we want to see the best of the best. That's what the Ashes is all about. And it's going to be great to see Reece in full flow and at Wembley as well. That'll be special.
Oh, yeah.
It will be. And I remember, Dylan Edwards, when they came over for the World Cup Challenge against Wigan, and we did something similar to this. And I said to people, watch out for this. Like a lot of people who didn't really know Dylan Edwards, didn't really rate, didn't know of Dylan Edwards. And I said, this guy at fullback for watch him, cracking player. And he sparkled in that World Club Championship. He really, really did. So like I say, we get into the detail here at Super League Raw. That's just what we do. Now, it's better asking, what do we think of the Golden Point rule in the series? I'll just quickly caveat that with, won't even get to that, mate. Won't even get to that. So I'm not really worried about it. It's great that they've done it, but I think they're being very optimistic, is what I would say. But there you go. So yeah, Reece Walsh at fullback. Just again, if you're not being facetious like John and you genuinely think this is a bad Australian,
he's not. Johnny's saying he's being serious.
Well, we tried to help you there, John. Just stay with us, John. Stay with us, mate. Because when you see the roll of honour of this team, believe me, this is not a bad side. Right, we then go to
go on, Dave. Say it.
Our friend Mark. now a quality Arzi, isn't it? Something like that. I've given me
yeah.
Now a Quatinazi, yeah, something like that. I call him Mark when I send him a Christmas card. He's 25 years of age. 25. Come to the party late. Okay? But again, we can only judge him on what he's done. The 24 NRL appearances, 25 tries. I say that again. He scored more than a try a game in the NRL. He was the Dally M Winger of the Year this year. He won the Anzac Cup this year. He was the RLPA Rookie of the Year 2025. He made 23 appearances this season and scored 24 tries. Again, more than a try a game. Made 7 on top of that. 119 tackle busts, 23 clean breaks, 174 tackles at an 89.2% efficiency. He runs on average 138 metres a game. And boys, he's on debut. He's on debut in Ashes game 1. But again, you know, I'm no fan of the Roosters. You know that I'm a bunny. But tell you what, boys, if you're averaging a try game in the NRL, you can't be a bad winger, can you, Steph?
Definitely not. Definitely not. And especially if you're not playing for the best team in the comp, you know, you can, you know, if you play for the best team in the competition, then you could argue, yeah, it's a bit easier. But no, he's had a phenomenal debut season in the NRL, and that try scoring record. I mean, even in Super League, you'd be waxing lyrical, wouldn't you? We did it over Martin, didn't we? And his try scoring record this year. So to do that in the NRL is some going.
Phil Webster.
I was just going to say.
Phil Webster, good lad. I wouldn't want to pay by the letter for his name on my shirt. Good lad, Phil. Outstanding.
Just put Mark on the back, mate.
And Dawn Baker's given us Nawanta Nitawaze is what Dawn's saying, is how you say it.
You want to what, Dawn?
Nawanta Nitawaze is the way you pronounce it, says Dawn. Yeah, that's what she says. So there you go. But again, Greg.
My grandma used to say that, I think. Which was good at knitting.
My grandma knit a jersey once.
So you want to knit a what?
Knit a jersey.
Hey, I'll let you tell him. But Greg, I mean, Greg, as Steph has eloquently put it there, that's a hell of a strike rate in the NRL. And you know what? And do you know what? Worthy of a debut. Worthy of a debut. He has been an exceptional winger in the NRL. And guess what? Walters has said, do you want to play against the England boys, lad? And he said, oh, yeah, please. If you don't mind, you know, there's a lot of England lads that love that goal, but yeah, he's backing him. He's putting him in 25. Go for it.
And this is what the Aussies do. If you're good enough, you're old enough. If you're good enough, it doesn't matter how many games you played, you're in. You know, maybe some people say Xavier Coates was injured and that's why he's in there. This guy's a unit.
Correct.
This guy knows his way to the try line. You know, this guy will cause problems. Get the ball out to this guy and he will cause you problems. He's He's just a superb player.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, mate. And like I say, he's a big unit. He's very, very good. I mean, like I said,
as people are saying in the chat, he's one of those that flops between Union and League, whichever coach playing the World Cup next.
Anyway,
doesn't really matter. Who cares?
I'm not being funny. As a winger, that doesn't matter. As we saw with Jason Robinson when he went to Union. You know, there's certain positions, it doesn't matter if you're playing Union or League. You know, it's just on you go, get your shirt on, and away you go. Right. I did say, didn't I, you know, synergies. Reece Walsh at fullback. Guess who's in centre? Katoni Staggs. Oh, yes, Katoni. Go on, lad. Here we go. Katoni Staggs, 145 NRL appearances, 64 tries in his career. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. The Dally M Centre of the Year in 20 and this year 25. He won the Queensland Cup in 2018. He got debuted in the State of Origin in 2022. He's had 24 appearances this season, 12 tries, 6 assists, 113 tackles, 26 clean breaks, tackles, 405 and an 86% efficiency. That's well up there with anything we see in Super League from a centre position. Just saying, for those who say you can't tackle in the chat. 138 average metres per game. 3 caps up to now, 1 try and a win ratio with Australia of 66.67%. A man that dons your Broncos shirt, Mr. Nixon, is a bit of a player. He's Arcatoni, isn't he?
Yeah, and the statistic that's not in there is how many tries he creates. How many times he offloads to his winger to just drop over the line.
Oh, it's 6 tries. 6 tries, man. Yeah, it's there, mate.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, sorry, I missed that. Sorry about that. Yeah, but he's another player, but to me, he's one of these players that flies under the radar in the NRL. He's not the Reece Walsh. He's not the Hudson Young. He's not the Tim Yo. He's a player. He's not the Tedesco. You know, Tedesco gets a Dally M for bringing water bottles on. He's not the. He's not the kind of the standout or the player that the media highlight. He just does what he does really, really well, and to an exceptionally high standard. You know, he's an absolutely standout centre. If I was a winger, I would want Katoni Staggs as my centre all day long.
Just checking that's a full stop. It is a full stop. We can move on.
And another thing.
But I tell you, Buzz Rossfield really likes Stags. Yeah, if you watch NRL 360, he goes on about Stags all the time, Steph. I think Tony Staggs is a very, very good player.
Yeah, he is. He's there's a theme here, isn't there, with the Dele M's in terms of the Aussie squad. All three of the ones we've mentioned so far have been in the Dele M this year. So yeah, it's this is what worries me.
But they don't count. Yeah, but they don't count them.
Dele M's.
Yeah, they don't count. They're like
Who picks them?
They don't count.
Who picks them? Has anybody any idea who picks the Dele M?
No, they don't count.
Yeah, just ignore it then. So yeah, yeah. No, we're being facetious. So no, but no, he's a great centre. Really, really good, solid. He can be a bit suspect defensively. I don't know. 86 is not bad, but there is an opportunity there for us. Especially if he's going to go against Herbie Farnworth, that could be a really interesting battle.
What a battle. I mean, again, Steph, just to get your juices flowing, you pay to see that battle. That is a battle. I mean, Herbie Farnworth against Tony Staggs. Come on, baby. Give me a bit of that. As Carla Collier says, fantastic no-nonsense player. Absolutely, absolutely gets the job done. He's like Ron Seal. Unbelievable. Outstanding player. Now, again, keeping a bit of synergy. Guess who's the other centre? Oh, yeah, he plays for the Brisbane Broncos. Shibasaki, is that right?
Shibasaki.
Shibasaki, 27 years of age, in his prime. 55 NRL appearances, 24 tries in that time. Good strike rate, that for a centre. Got a State of Origin debut this year and won the Origin, no less. Grand final winner, no less. 25 appearances with 18 tries, 6 more assists in there as well. 113 tackles, 24 clean breaks, 271 tackles, 85.5% tackle efficiency. Just to remind you, Mark Percival was in the 70s this season. And we all think Mark Percival's a good centre and he is. I'm not saying he's not, but we all think Mark Percival's a player. Yeah. Just to put that into perspective, and this guy's playing NRL, but he can't tackle. Just saying. 155 average run meters and on debut in Ashes game 1. Is it Gahamet? Gearmat. I didn't know Game had a map. Okay.
When you ordered a beer, you don't want it to dribble on the table. So
Gearmat.
Like a ventriloquist asking for a beer, man.
Yeah. Hey, we can joke now. We won't be laughing. We won't be laughing on Saturday. But again, what a season this guy had for the Broncos this year. Centres are so important in modern day rugby league. That's where your strike comes. They either score a try or make a try. And both him and Staggs were big reasons, with, of course, Walsh coming up as well, why the Brisbane Broncos won the NRL Grand Final this week, Reggie, mate.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot more I can add to that, mate. Again, another one that doesn't maybe grab the headlines, but oozes class and does the job that a centre needs to do. Again, sometimes can get caught a bit flat-footed, especially under a kick. And that's what I was going to say Warrington. Then. That's what England. If England are going to benefit, this is the guy they need to target with a high kick. That's kind of. I'll give Sean Wayne one for free there, but other than that, I mean, he uses class.
Yeah, absolutely. Carla Collier, she says it's almost as if these players have been picked on form and not prior credit. Imagine that. Wild. Yeah, absolutely. But like I say, in defence to Sean, I did say last week, I get a bit of it. If a player has played, certain players would run. I mean, it's like in business and anything. Certain people will run through a brick wall for you. They would do. I get that. But there comes a point where but they can't break through the brick wall anymore because the legs aren't there. We need to get a bit of a younger talent.
In fact, with this Aussie team, it's 10 brick walls you've got to run through,
mate. And like I say, the average age of this squad is well. I mean, I've not worked it out because I didn't have the time, but I guarantee if I was to do the math, there's got to be 3, 4, 5 years in it in terms of the average age between these two squads. And the majority of this Australian squad will be either in their prime or be a prop forward in their mid 30, like 31, 32, 33 come the World
pack
Cup.
has got the experience and the backs have got the youth, mate, and that's the perfect blend.
It's exactly. So, hey, neighbours should be there for one another. I see what you did there. Anyway, they're going home and away. Oh, hey! Go on there, have a day. Sean Wenner being presented, being cell block 8. Boom! And there's another one there. Oh, anyway, moving on. Sorry, Steph, we've got to make it entertaining for the people. But yeah, look, bottom line is great players. Should we move on to the other wing?
Yeah, let's.
I'm going to let Steph go first on this one. Should we move to the other wing, Steph? Are you ready, Steph? Guess who's on the other wing? It is no other than Josh Adogar. 30 years of age, a veteran, no less, in this Australian side. 201 NRL appearances, 159 tries. Dally M Winger of the Year 2020. He won the State of Origin on 3 occasions, 18, 19 and 21. He's won 2 NRL Grand Finals. He's a World Club champion. He won the World Cup in 2022. It's a terrible squad, this Australian one, I have to say. 22 appearances in 2025, 19 tries, 92 tackleables, 26 clean breaks, 148 average running metres a game, 7 caps for Australia, 13 tries, win ratio of 85.71%. Super League Raw, getting into the details, Steph. Josh Adogar, what a player.
Yeah, super player. He's really quick, really good under the high ball as well. Safe as houses. Reminds me a lot of Josh Charnley type of player. Returns the ball really well, and can finish a try like we all love to see with the most spectacular dives in the corner. Scored some wonderful tries for Australia as well. He brings the experience and that calmness to the back. Is he the oldest player in the backs?
In the backs, yeah. Back with some considerable ease.
Yeah, I'm getting concerned though because we've actually had 2 that weren't in the Dally M this year in the last 2 we've done. So I suspect was Herbie Farnworth the other Dally M centre.
Herbie Farnworth, yeah, I think he was. Yeah, I mean, look, his resume there just speaks for itself. This guy is he's NRL. I won't go as far as say, but he's just an NRL player. I mean, he's just an absolute been there, done it, got the t-shirt, demands respect, earns respect. He is sheer quality, Greg. Whoever's going up against him on Saturday, they're going to have to be at the best.
There's nothing more I can add to that, Dave. He's a quality. He's absolute sheer class. You know, there's just no other words to describe him.
No,
just a wonderful player. I watch a lot of NRL, and he's one of the players that I want to watch week in, week out. I'm a Bronco, but you know I appreciate great players, and this guy is a great player.
He is a great player. So a bit of Parramatta Eels on the wing there. So look at the moment, guys. Again, just keep an eye on synergies here. You know, we've done 5 players, and 3 of them are from the Brisbane Broncos. Just saying. Synergy. Anyway, we now get into the halfbacks. And do you know what? Guilty pleasure of mine, Cameron Munster. I love Cameron Munster. One of the best moments, 31 years of age. One of the best moments of this season was he actually played a game straight after, I think it was his dad passed away. Incredible. You know, and do you know what? This is what I love about Cameron Munster. He's a winner. You know, he's the Mikey Lewis, albeit a more mature, you know, he's 31. But he's a Mikey Lewis-esque type of player. It matters to him. Every game matters to Cameron Munster. And he's got so much class and quality. It's unbelievable. It really, really is. 236 NRL appearances, 61 tries. The RLPA Rookie of the Year 2015. A 5-time, I say it again, 5-time State of Origin winner. He won the Wally Lewis medal in 2020. His performance was that good. The NRL Grand Final winner of 17 and 20. He's been the Dally M 5/8 of the year on 3 occasions. 3 occasions in the NRL, 18, 19 and 22. World Cup Challenge winner in 2018. He's won the World Cup in 2017 and 2022. He's had 12 caps, 4 tries for Australia with a win ratio of 83.33%. This is a shocking team, I have to say. Cameron Munster, Greg, guilty pleasure of mine. I do like Cameron Munster. I think he is a great number 6.
Apart from all that, Dave, what's he done? Come on.
Well, not much. But he's a great player.
Right,
well, actually, I'll tell you what, he's not done the Munster mash.
Hey!
It was a graveyard try. Anyway, go on, move on.
Anyway,
Go on.
people. Yeah, he's not.
It's Halloween in a couple of weeks.
He's not as big as Herman Munster. This, Craig, thanks for that, mate. I won't steal your joke. He's a player. Cameron Munster is a player that you can't swat away. He's like one of those mozzies that you can't swat away. He's always there. He's always in your face. He's always in the play. He's always dictating. He's always scheming. He's a great player. I'm not like you, Dave. I love him. He's a great player. And he gets in the faces of the opposition and he irritates the opposition. And guess what? As soon as he's irritated you and got your mind boiling, he cuts through and he gets a great try. He's a wonderful player.
I just love. I mean, look, he's one of those players that if he plays for you, you love him. Doesn't play for my team, it's in Rabbitohs, but I'm that far away. It doesn't really matter. If he was in Super League and he didn't play for my team, I wouldn't like him. I wouldn't. But he doesn't. If he plays for you, you'll love him. This guy, Steph. I mean, look, he's a graveyard smash, isn't he, Greg? Sorry, Steph. He isn't.
I think Sean Wayne will definitely want someone like Knowles to be targeting him all game to put him off, and I think they'll probably call it the Munster Munch when he gets bigoted.
He'll have us in a pickled onion.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think we are going to have to Munster Munch him if we're going to have a chance of winning the Ashes. So yeah, no, he's
night, guys.
Yeah, absolute quality is Cameron. He's that controlling player, isn't he? He gets you around the park, and he can also produce some off the cuff stuff as well. Really, really good. Just superlatives in it. I feel like all we're doing is saying good things about these players, but they're Australian players for a reason.
There's no weakness. Apart from, there's not many weaknesses. What more can you say?
Well, look, what we do is we call it straight. These are world-class quality players. That's what they are. And this is why, if the safe money's on a 3-0 loss, because for me, these are the creme de la creme. I mean, and yeah, you could argue Payne. I mean, somebody said in the chat, Payne Haas, Latrell Mitchell can't get, Latrell Mitchell. There's so many players that are not in this squad or are on the bench. Moses, Mitchell Moses is he's not even on the, he can't even get in the team.
But Mitchell Moses would walk into any
team, but that's what we're talking about. We're talking about world-class quality players. That's what we're talking about. I have to say, very quickly, Phil Webster, he was on my list. Liam Moore's got the gig, grand final. You know what? I thought he was outstanding in the grand final. Liam Moore, fully deserving of the first Ashes Test, boys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Been the best ref this season by a mile for me.
Well, just to let everybody know, I did pass on our congratulations to him, and he said thank you very much.
Yeah, I see that Jack Smith is video ref as well, so maybe they want to send the Aussie players to sleep while he makes a decision, and then England can run through him.
There is a bit.
We're selling adverts in the break now, apparently, to raise some money for the Super League for the 2 extra teams.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I know. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, let's keep this positive. Let's keep it positive. So of course, Payne asked Joe Samoa over Australia didn't play very well as well. Well done, Tom. Yeah. You're right. He did. But like I say, there's a plethora of players though, even underneath that.
There's so many players left out. Pappenhausen, players like that.
Ryan Pappenhausen, good player. Yeah. Right, here we go. Nathan Cleary, the former best player in the world, possibly. But 27. 20. Just let that sink in, folks. Nathan Cleary is only 27. 194 NRL appearances, 67 tries, 3-time State of Origin winner, Brad Fittler Medal winner 2020, the RLPA Player of the Year 2020, the NRL Grand Final winner 21, 22, 23 and 24, 4 times. Clive Churchill Medal on 2 occasions, 21. And for me, one of the greatest comeback performances and individual performances ever in 2023. What he did in that last 15 minutes of that game was just befitting of the best.
All right, Dave.
Sorry, Greg. Dally M, halfback of the year, 2020, 21 and 25. World Cup winner 2022. 5 caps, 1 try. Ominous 100% win ratio for Australia. Steph, I'll let you go first.
Well, I'm just getting depressed, if I'm being honest. It's, I can see Cleary now. Lorraine has gone. He's leaving.
Hey!
So, yeah,
Don't call him Cleary.
yeah. No, he's just one of the best that's ever done it, isn't he? And again, it's good. The good thing is, it's a privilege to watch these players. And he is one of the best. I did like Chris Radlinski's comment after the thing he'd say you won't get in the Wigan side. And I don't think he was even joking.
Okay, Chris. Okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe he had one too many of the Saints' new sponsors for that one. Dick Dastardly. Somebody said he looks like. I can see that. I can see a bit of Dick Dastardly there in Nathan Cleary. No doubt about it. But Greg, I mean, do you know what I liked about Cleary as well? And I got this from a lot of the Wigan supporters at the time. Was after that World Club Championship at the Brick Community, he went round and had autographs and photos at the end of the game. He was a champion ambassador for Penrith Panthers, the NRL and Rugby League. He handled defeat with absolute grace, and he made sure that he showed respect to the Wigan fans. And again, great player on the field, champion bloke off it by the looks of it.
Genuine superstar, mate. Genuine superstar. Yeah. There's nothing else I can add apart from if he's Dick Dastardly, Munster must be Mutley. But there's nothing else I can add to what anybody's said. If you watch the NRL week in, week out, again, a class apart. And as Stephanie's getting depressed, I'm an England fan through and through, but I'm getting excited to watch. I'm a rugby league fan more than anything else.
Yeah.
And to see these players, to actually watch them in the flesh, I'm getting really, really excited about it. I just hope that Walsh and players like that, I hope they don't get injured at Wembley and they'll play at Everton. I really, really hope that it's the same team because I'm getting really, really excited about watching these players as a rugby league fan to step onto that pitch. There's nothing I can say to add to what anybody else is saying about Cleary. The guy's class.
He is class. Craig Forth. Wigan dealt with him though. Do you not remember the Wardle try? Do you not remember Craig, mate? Come on. It was Bedison-esque. Come on.
I think Liam Moore dealt with him, Craig.
Come on, Craig. Come on. You have a very short-term memory there. God bless you, Cotton Talk. Looking forward to Mr. Forth's company at Ashes 2. Has to be said. We're doing it all again in the Bluebell. If you're going to Ashes 2 and you're not coming with Super League Roy, you can still come to the Bluebell for breakfast and come for an after-party Ashes 2 at the Bluebell. Going to be another great occasion on the is it the 1st? It's the 1st of November, isn't it? Outstanding. Can't wait for that. Right. So what we've got here now, look, it's interesting this, right? So we've got had to be Cam Munster, had to be Cleary. We now go back to Brisbane Broncos because in the front row, Patrick Carrigan. Now, again, a player that'll be close to Greg's heart. Beast of a player. Beast of a player. He's got flowing locks,
little like myself.
Yeah, very, very Ashton Sims-esque. If the first test was going to be superheroes, he'd be banned. Just thought I'd get that in for you early there, Greg, when talking about good old Ashton. But yeah, here he is, 130 NRL appearances. He's 27 years of age. It's nonsense. 130 NRL appearances, 4 tries, a 3-time State of Origin winner. He won the Ron McAuliffe Medal in 2022, the Wally Lewis as well in the same series. So just to let you know what these medals are: best Queensland player, best player in Origin. Just to clarify that for those who don't know what those medals are. Dally M Lock of the Year 23. There is a theme, Steph. Terrible team this. 25 appearances, post-contact meters this season, 1,300. Just let that sink in. This is after collision. 1,300 meters after collision.
Some don't do that in
no.
Some don't do that in the season.
No, I mean that's ridiculous. I mean, again, just because we can, and we gave great raps to like a Dean Haddon. Let's just put this into perspective, right? Look at those second rows. It's just like, are they on there? Are they not on there? Yeah, they are at the bottom. Look at the second rows there. John Bateman, 1,600, second rower.
Twice.
1,400 bachelor, 1,800. This lad has done post-contact meters, 1,300 post-contact contact. That is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Winner this year, of course, World Club winner 2022, 11 caps, 90% win ratio for Australia. Greg, there's no doubt about it. Patrick Carrigan, what a player.
First name on the team sheet for me, because he can play prop, second row and loose, and he can do 80 minutes in the pack. And he's an animal, and he takes no prisoners. And again, a player that's in your face, that can wind you up. He's not afraid of a bit of biff. But, he's generally, Reece Walsh is a superstar. This guy, for me, is my favourite Broncos player because he does the hard yards. He does the hard work, as you can see there. And he can do an 80-minute stint, and he can play, apart from hooker, he can play every position in the pack. For me, first name on the team sheet every week.
Steph Carrigan, not to be confused with Cardigan. He's not going to keep him warm and fuzzy, is he? And all I would say is if he did come from a sheep, he'd be a wolf in sheep's clothing, sir. This man has got a bit of bite. You see what I did? See what I did there?
Yeah, very good.
That was good. Go
on. I think the main thing for me is he's an absolute workhorse. Carrigan can do 80 minutes, like we said. 27, absolute prime for a prop forward, perfect age, and he brings so much to the team. I mean, that post contact is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do 1,300 post contacts in a season. That's crazy.
It is crazy. It is. Yeah. It is. In the interest of time, we're going to have to get a wriggle on. I'm going to, unless you've got something burning to say, we're going to do one apiece now. We're going to do one apiece. I'm not saying much. I was accused of that a few weeks ago. It's all about you, boys. It's all about you.
Who, boy?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Right. Harry Grant, 27. There's a theme here, isn't there? 27. Melbourne Storm. Now, think about this, folks. We've got Reece Walsh. We've two Brisbane Broncos centres. Yeah. We've got Cameron Munster with a Melbourne Storm number 9. Synergies. Just saying. 120 NRL appearances, 41 tries. RLPA Rookie of the Year 2020, a 4-time State of Origin winner. Dally M Rookie of the Year 2020, Dally M Hooker of the Year 23-24, 2 seasons on the spin. 20 in the 2025, 19 appearances, 5 tries, 10 assists, 16 offloads. Keep the ball, and keep an eye on the offloads as we go through the back rowers. Dear God, they like to keep the ball alive. World Cup winner 2022, 11 caps, 1 try, and 90% and 0.91% win ratio for Australia. Greg, Harry Grant, quality number 9.
Yeah, in the interest of keeping this brief, mate. Just an absolute superb player. He's like a Cameron Munster type player. He's in your face. He will wind you up, and while he's winding you up, he'll do something that means he opens a gap up, and somebody's walking through for a try. This guy is superb. Nothing more I can say about that. In the interest of being very, very brief.
Well, Craig Forth said if we give this team some sedatives in the water, we might only lose by 9-17. Carla Collier wants to strengthen that to laxatives. I think it'll be our boys that are going to the cars.
That'll make him run quicker.
Maybe. Right, another big name here coming in, Steph. Oh, God. Tino. I always sign his cards, Tino. Faya Suramalayu. Samaluai? Is that right? Famasualeu. I'll go with that. Say it again, Reg.
Famasualeu.
I'll go with that. I'm terrible at names. Shocking. But a Gold Coast Titan. Good to see a Gold Coast Titan in the team. 111 NRL appearances, 24 tries, 4 State of Origin wins. Terrible team, this. NRL Grand Final winner 2020. 19 appearances this season, 3 tries, 38 tackles, 30 offloads, post-contact meters over 1,000. 1,066 post-contact meters. Ridiculous. 607 tackles with a 92% efficiency. Won the World Cup in 22. 7 caps, 85.71% win ratio, Steph. Tino.
Good lad, Tino. Good lad.
Good lad,
the I think the theme with this Aussie squad is youth in the prime, ridiculous engines, and this is what my concern is. They can just go and go and go. Ridiculous amount of post-contact meters in the forwards, skill, offloads, 30 offloads. It's it's just depressing me. And I know Greg's I'm more of I want England to win, and this is just depressing me.
Sorry, Steph. I'm really sorry, but hey, great players on our shores. Let's say that. But yeah, Tino, looking forward to seeing Tino. And then we come to another rooster, Angus Crichton. Now, I mean, if you don't know who Angus Crichton is, where have you been? Where have you been? 29. So in the upper echelons of the experience of this squad, 198 NRL appearances, 50 tries, 4-time State of Origin winner, folks. He won the Wally Lewis and the Brad Fittler medal in 2024. The Brad Fittler medal, for those who don't know, is the best New South Wales player in Origin. NRL Grand Final winner 2019, World Club Challenge winner 2020, 5-time Anzac Cup winner, Dally M second row of the year 2024. In 2025, 120 average run meters. He won the World Cup in 2022, 8 caps, 2 tries. He's never lost a game in the Golden Amber. Greg, Angus Crichton.
I don't think he's going to lose one this time round either. He's a perfect second rower. I won't go into Hudson Young, but this guy, the angles that this guy runs, defensively, attacking, always there. The one thing I'll say about Angus Crichton is he's always there, either to run the ball out of defence or to get that ball over the try line. If you wanted a player to pin your life on, Angus Crichton will be the player you'd have alongside you. You'd have him in the trenches with you. He is, he's absolutely superb.
He's always there to love you, always there, thinking of you, always there. Come on, Greg. Get down with me, face. There you go. That's it. I see what you did there.
Yeah, I don't like Black Sabbath, mate.
The 90s boy in you came out there, changing a light bulb in Mr. Smith's. I know what you were doing there, Chief. Well done. Outstanding effort from you. Outstanding. Right, let's go. Steph, that's one side. Let's go and take a look at the other side, because we've now got Hudson Young. Hudson Young, 27 years of age, 141 NRL appearances, 54 tries. Oh, dear Lord. John, mate. John's got to be feeling a little bit. John, do you want to John, for your own credibility in the chat, just say you didn't realise how good these boys were. Just say 141 NRL appearances, 54 tries. State of Origin winner this year. Dally M second rower of this year, Steph. Who'd have thought? NRL Minor Premier, of course, 2025 this year. 22 appearances, 11 tries, 9 tackleables, 4 clean breaks, 40 offloads. Averages 148 metres per game. 678 tackles this season, an efficiency of 90.6. He's had 3 caps and never lost in the green and gold.
Another one, absolutely in his prime, unbelievably fit. Exactly what you want in a second row. 40 offloads. I can guarantee you we are going to see a lot of offloads from the Australians in this this Test series. It's a big, along with the work rate, the meters they make, the average age, the engines. But I think I'm convinced most of these players so far, even the props, could do 60, 70 minutes. We waxed lyrical about Tom Amone when he changed from being a 20, 30-minute player to being a 70-minute player at Lee. These lads could go all day. They've got fantastic engines. They're supremely fit. And they've also got quality, and they're also in the pomp. And this is my worry. And it might sound like I'm being a negative Nelly about it, but I just cannot see how we can compete with this side.
Billy Ingram, this is really insightful. I don't follow the NRL as closely as probably we do, so it's good to get this breakdown. Nobody does. You're not going to find this level of detail on the Aussie squad anywhere else. I guarantee it. Go and try and find it, and then send me the link, because I want to go and watch it so I get better. I don't think you're going to get better insight into this squad than what we're giving you this evening. Now, Greg, we come to the man that you mentioned a minute ago. Again, going back to the spine, Nathan Cleary at 7, Isaiah Yo, my apologies, at loose forward. At loose forward, 30 years of age, captain of his country. Right. Let's go through his stats first, Greg. 266 NRL appearances, 32 tries, 2-time State of Origin winner. The Dally M Lock of the Year on 4 occasions, 21, 22, 23, 24. The Dally M Captain of the Year, 22. NRL Grand Final winner, 21, 22, 23, 24. 21 appearances this season, 1 try, 25 tackles, 17 offloads, 894 post-contact meters. World Cup winner in 2022, 11 caps, 2 tries, a win ratio of 90.91%. Greg, I put to you, I think if there's one player in the Penrith Panthers side that has not got the headlines because of Nathan Cleary, unjustly, it's Isaiah Yo. Isaiah Yo, for me, is a loose forward of his generation. And, Nathan Cleary gets all the headlines, and he probably doesn't mind that he gets all the headlines, but this guy, he is the complete 13.
Yeah, and I think he quite possibly likes the fact that other players get the attention, because I think this guy is the rudder. He steers the team. He doesn't want the headlines, but what he does is everything about it. I'm boring myself now. I really am. Everything about this guy is class, but he's the calming influence, and that's why he's captain, and that's why he's perfect for this Aussie team with the young players. He's only 30 himself, but there's a lot of younger players around. You got Reece Walsh, who can sometimes be a bit like a headless chicken. That's been a criticism of him, that he doesn't quite know what he's doing at times. Isaiah Yo is the cement that brings all those bricks together of that team. And I don't think he minds, like you say, I don't think he minds at all that other players get the credit, because this guy is utter class. He uses class, utter class.
Mate, pointing of a different standard. Bricklaying. Go on, lad. Loving that. Cement. Go on. You point away, sir. Point away.
I mean, he's concrete, this guy.
Oh, mate, I tell you, incredible. Wonderful lines. Steph, before we get to the subs, we'll have to go through them very quickly. Trust me, just as good. But I know you'll want to pay tribute to this incredible player. Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I think you're absolutely right in what you've said. One that goes by his own wishes, I think, under the radar a little bit, but captain fantastic for Penrith and for Australia. He's the Aussie captain, isn't he? I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's captain. He's captain.
He's just a leader. And he's got the respect of everybody. Just a quality player. I think best 13 in the world over the last 5 years.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go. John's back. We'll lose, but normally a World 17. I can name loads of players better in most positions. Put it in the chat. 1 to 17, better in most positions. Don't get me wrong. You'll probably get a few. I get that. But again,
there's a lot got to the islands, hasn't there? To Samoa.
It's not about superstars, though, John. It's about a team. It's also about a team. It's about synergy. It's about structure. It's about bringing these boys together. But yeah, mate, I'm up for that challenge. Do your 17 in the chat, mate. Do it. Do it, mate.
It's about hunger.
Hunger as well. Right, Thomas Dearden, halfback. Interesting they put halfback in there. Does this say that maybe Munster, maybe probably Cleary? Might not be 100%, maybe. But Thomas Dearden, 126 NRL appearances, 42 tries, 2 State of Origin winners. The Ron McAuliffe medal winner 2025, Ollie Lewis medal winner 2025, Dally M 5'8" for the year 2024, 22 appearances this year, 9 tries, 14 assists, 18 clean breaks, 460 tackles at an 86.8% efficiency, 106 average run meters, 3 caps, 1 try, never lost in the green and gold. I move on to the next one. It's Lindsay Collins. Prop forward, 129 NRL appearances, 10 tries, 4 State of Origin wins, 4-time Anzac Cup winner, 2-time world champion, Terrible team, this. NRL Grand Final winner in 2 seasons, 19 and 20. 2025, 16 appearances, 3 tries, 17 tackles, 4 offloads, 445 tackles, 93.1% efficiency. World Cup winner in 22, 9 caps, 4 tries, 88.89% win ratio. We then go to Ruben Cotter of the Cowboys. 100 NRL appearances, only 26, 10 tries, 3-time State of Origin winner. Arguably the biggest game in rugby league. The Ron McAuliffe medal winner 2023, Wally Lewis medal 2023. 18 appearances this year, 20 tackles, 2 offloads, 667 post-contact meters, 705 tackles, 92.3% efficiency on the tackles. World Cup winner in 22. 8 caps, 87.5% win rate. The amount of World Cup winners 22, and John's going to pick us a better 117.
He's putting them in the chat. He's putting them in the chat.
Good man. Well done, John. Right, okay. Tedesco's gone, mate. Tedesco's gone. Not a patch on Reece Walsh. If that's where you're going, I'm just going to leave it there. Kalamatangi from South Sydney boy. Good lad. 126 NRL appearances, 24 tries. State of Origin debut 23. This is probably actually the least experienced and least accolades of them all, but it's been incredible for the South Sydney Rabbitohs last few years. Now, New South Wales Cup, 30 appearances, 2 tries, 2025, 20 appearances, 4 tries, 54 tackles, 17 offloads, 1,190 post-contact meters. That's not to be shot at. 661 tackles, 94.6 efficiency, 153 average run meters, and on debut in Ash's game. Crichton's playing Don.
No, I think it means Stephen Crichton.
Oh, he's on about Stephen Crichton. Latrell Mitchell. Do you know what? I think Latrell Mitchell imbalances the squad, mate. And I'm a South Sydney fan. I think Latrell, great player, but I think he imbalances the squad, mate. Is what
too much of a liability, Latrell Mitchell.
Yeah. Haas playing for Samoa. Yeah, the Hammer. Yeah, I get that. Good player. I mean, look, they're all good players. Injured. They're all good players, mate. But actually, there's not an awful lot in there that would swap it, from being honest. Starting 17s, we've got 3.
Jonathan said Liam Martin now. I am surprised.
He's a good player.
Martin, isn't
he's a good player, mate. They're all good players.
He's a great player, Liam Martin.
But for him to say that they all deserve a place over that 17, I think it's disingenuous. I'm just going to say it. Jonathan, that's the beauty of our show. We don't just talk at you; we interact with you, mate. I'm not convinced.
It's got a point. I get what he's saying, and there's a lot of, because I think what the point he's making is, if it was a World 17, it wouldn't be all Australia, whereas previously it potentially was. Whereas a lot now have defected, haven't they, to Samoa, Tonga, who would potentially get in a World 17 rather than the Australian. I think that's the point he's making a little bit.
Of course he is. And he said the Dalian means something. Look, the point is, right, is that team, for you to say it's the worst Australian team, it's not. And that was my point. That is a very strong Australian team. We've spent the best part of 40 minutes going through it. Anybody who says that is not a strong Australian team, you need to give your head a wobble, is all I would say. We pretty much all of us have picked the same squads. None of us picked George Williams. None of us.
Should be nowhere near that squad.
None of us picked George Williams, which I think is the most interesting. The back row picks itself. We all went Lewis and Smith. We all picked. I want Walmsley off the bench. You all wanted him to start. We all picked Mike McMeekin as a starter. I want Walmsley as the impact with a bit of size. He's the only size player we've got. That's why I went off the bench. But we've all picked the same squad. None of us put John Bateman in. None of us put Callum Watkins in. None of us put George Williams in. Do we expect all 3 of them to be in the 17, boys?
Yes. And don't be surprised got Bateman in the centres.
Captain in my team, I'm being asked who my captain would be. Probably, it wouldn't be Jack Wellesby. I'd probably give it Mike McMeekin. He's who I give it to.
Walmsley for me.
Yeah. We're making in mind. Anyway, time has beat us. Ladies and gentlemen, you never know what you're going to get with Super League Raw Weekly. You never know what you're going to get. Another show that has gone right into the detail for you. Make sure, if you're in Manchester, you come and see us. Of course, we're at the Box on Saturday. It's called the Box, isn't it? I keep forgetting what it's called. But ladies and gentlemen, we will be back next week for more Super League Raw Weekly. Enjoy Ashes 1. Bye for now.
Enjoy it, guys.